Raider Nation, what's going on? Today's show presented by Manscaped. Before I get into some of these trending Raiders rumors, if you want to make sure that your Ken Stabler, your Nathan Peterman is trending in all the right ways, go to manscaped.com, use promo code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. So the Raiders training camp began on July 18th. Rookies, UDFAs, quarterbacks, they reported on July 18th. July 20th, that's when the veterans ended up showing up, which I'm really excited about. And if you are subscribed to the show, you'll know that I've already released 2 videos about the top 10 players to watch for July 18th. I've also released my top 10 veterans to watch as well. And if you haven't seen those videos yet, another reason to subscribe to the Raiders Report. We put out a video every day around the silver and black. So whether you want to go to that link below at youtube.com/Raiders Report, or I'm going to do my best Vanna White impression here, you can scan the QR code on top of that to make sure that you are never missing any of the information. Ready? 3, 2, ooh, look at that. Scan that QR code, subscribe to the show. That way you guys stay up to date, and believe it or not, it helps me out a lot here. So it's an easier way. Get out your cell phone, get your camera, scan that bad boy, and keep the party rocking. So coming up here, the Raiders were linked to 2 free agents, and I noticed when I just did that, technically that's 4, but 2 free agents. And we're going to talk about both of those players because one of the guys played on the team last season, and this is from Bleacher Report, and they released an article titled, "The Most Underrated NFL Free Agents Still Available Ahead of Training Camp." The first player that they mentioned, Jalen Richard, back to Las Vegas. They listed as the best fits for him were the Raiders and the Rams. And yes, he's been a proven, reliable pass-catching running back. I had the opportunity at my Jonathan Hankins event where I did the burger eating contest. I talked to Jalen. He's been doing 2-a-days. He even did 3-a-days for a short amount of time to try to stay in shape. He opened up a snow cone business. Him and the guy who owns Barcode Burgers, they kind of do that together. He's in Las Vegas still. He wants to be on the Raiders. It's just a matter of, does it make sense? This is what Bleacher Report had to say on the Raiders signing Jalen Richard. Richard is a true complimentary back and has been used sparingly as a runner in recent years. He logged fewer than 40 carries in 2019 and 2020 and had only 9 in 2021, following the arrival of Kenyon Drake and a stint on injured reserve with a leg injury. However, Richard is a tremendous receiving back and is woefully underrated in that role. Even after missing 7 games last season, Richard has averaged 32 receptions in his 6 years as a Raider. And while Richard isn't a high-volume runner, he's averaged an impressive 5.0 yards per carry in his career. So Bleacher Report believes that the Raiders should revisit the idea of bringing back Richard. I saw this, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask the nation. So, should the Raiders bring back Jalen Richard? If you're like, yes, it makes sense, type that Y for yes. If you're like, no, it doesn't make any sense, then type your N for no. I respect Jalen. I have had the opportunity to sit down and talk to him. I challenged him to eating his spook wings over at Barcode Burgers, but my answer is no. And it's not because I don't think he's a good back. It's because I look at this Raiders running back room this season, and it's better than what it was last season. On top of that, Richard's usage has been trending in the wrong direction essentially since he's come into the NFL as a UDFA in 2016. I will always appreciate the years that Richard has had and has given us in the past, especially that 23-yard run to help get the Raiders that first down to kick that field goal after the Chargers sent us to the playoffs. I will always appreciate that. But, I mean, look at the carries. They have literally gone down, and the yards have literally gone down every single season. And, yes, Bleacher Report has said, well, he has averaged 32 receptions per year. Well, you're right, but that's because one year was an outlier where he had 68 catches in 2018, tied with Jared Cook for most receptions on the team. But 2020, 19 catches, 2021, 12 catches, and now he's competing with Brandon Bolden, Zamir White, all the other backs in the team. Sorry, it just doesn't make any sense to bring back Jalen Richard. I'm going to tell you who the next free agent is, but I don't want you to end up on the free agent wire either. So how do you do that? Manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping. Just use promo code Raiders. If you haven't tried the Lawnmower 4.0, I'm wondering what the heck are you waiting for? How many guys out there, honestly, use something to try to trim up? Whether it's your chest, whether it's your armpits, whether it's your area. If you don't use the Lawnmower 4.0, you are only risking the biscuit. And I mean that because this thing, it's a gentle glide. It's got an awesome light, 4K LED light at the end of it. You got a battery usage so it can tell you when you're about to run out of battery. You can use this thing in the shower. It's an unbelievable razor, and I'm telling you, you guys are going to like it. On top of this, because obviously if you're going to spend all that work manscaping, you want to make sure you're looking good. Well, Manscaped also has got an awesome package here for you all, and I always say the most comfortable boxers you will ever buy. I swear on that. Like, I'm not kidding you when I say they're the best boxers I own. And my favorite thing that they do, because growing up as a kid, my dad used to always say, Mitch, protect the family jewels. Mitch, protect the family jewels. They literally, the pouch on the Manscaped boxers is called like the family jewel holder. Like, this thing is an incredible thing. It makes sure that your balls are just wrapped up in there. They feel all great, and they're not moving around. They're complacent, which is the way I want it. So I promise you, try out Manscaped products at manscaped.com, promo code Raiders. Let's talk about the next free agent that Bleacher Report mentioned here, and it's Mike Remmers. And Remmers has played literally almost every single spot on the offensive line, minus center, his entire career, and most recently has spent some time with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in this Bleacher Report article, they thought that Remmers would be best fit with the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. And, you know, on the grand scheme of things, if you look at the Raiders roster, you're like, okay, like they could potentially use some extra help on the offensive line. I get it. But this is what Bleacher Report had to say on signing Remmers. He's only appeared in 4 games and 2 starts with Kansas City last season before landing on injured reserve. However, he started at least 10 games in each of the previous 6 seasons. In 2020, Remmers was responsible for only 4 penalties and 0 sacks surrendered, according to PFF. As a swing tackle, who can also play guard, Remmers would be a tremendous target for the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas' line is its biggest question mark heading into 2022, with uncertainty at both right tackle and right guard. So here's my question. Should the Raiders sign Mike Remmers? Type that 1 for yes, type 0 for no. And this one was a little bit more difficult for me because, not that I didn't like Richard again, it's just the Raiders running back room, we all know, is a lot more solid than the offensive line. Now, the Raiders have some good offensive line depth, they really do, but there's just like 3, 4, 5 guys where I'm like, I don't necessarily know who's going to start and who's going to sit. 1 for yes, 0 for no. Should the Raiders sign Mike Remmers? My answer? No. I'm actually going to pass on Remmers. I talked to our Chiefs host, Harrison Graham. I said, Harry, give me the latest on Remmers. And he was like, dude, his knee it was a lingering knee issue. It could not get healthy. And a lot of times when you get these offensive linemen that are just massive human beings and they start getting these soft tissue injuries, you start getting some of these lingering knee issues. If it ends up working out for him, great. And I might be wrong on this one. But you know what? I'm not going to risk it. And I don't want to risk it because you just simply never know. He missed 13 games in 2021 with that knee injury. I'm going to pass, and I'm going to bet on Denzel Good. I'm going to bet on Dylan Parham. I'm going to bet on Andre James. I'm going to bet on John Simpson. I'm going to say no to Mike Remmers. The next story is around Chris Jones. And I got this one sent to me on Instagram. I got this sent to me on Twitter. And everyone was like, Mitch, did you see that Chris Jones, defensive tackle of the Chiefs, the Raiders follow him on both Twitter and they follow him on Instagram. So I saw this and I try to do a little bit of detective digging because I do think once in a while stories like this should be mentioned, no doubt about it. So what I did here was I went to the Raiders Twitter account, and you can kind of see who follows them and who they don't follow. You can see, though, the Raiders follow Chris Jones on Twitter, and they follow Chris Jones on Instagram. So people were like, can it happen? First off, a trade within a division is very, very unlikely. On top of that, and no disrespect to the Raiders social media team, I don't think they're very good. And it's just me being honest. This is what happened. The Raiders social media team, They followed the wrong Chris Jones. The Raiders signed Chris Jones, the cornerback, a few weeks ago. When you go back and you look at the Raiders on whom people that they followed, it is perfectly in line with when the Raiders signed Chris Jones, the cornerback out of Nebraska. So the social media team, if you're watching, unfollow the defensive tackle of the Chiefs, Chris Jones, and follow the Raiders' Chris Jones, because you're following the wrong guy. So are the Raiders going to sign defensive tackle Chris Jones to the Chiefs? The answer to that is no. No, they are not. So to make sure, though, you know what's actually going on around your team, this is why you should give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter. And I am answering DMs. I'm making sure that I can stay up to date with all y'all, because this is the craziest and wildest offseason that I personally have ever been a part of, and I'm sure y'all can agree with that. And on top of that, it's an easier way for me to get to know you, for you to get to know me, and it's a way that the show can continue to grow. So if you could, hit me up, IG, Twitter, you know where to find me. It's right down there below. The next story coming up here on the Raiders Report is around money. And I don't know about you, I like money. It's not too bad. And NFL ticket revenue, as it stands right now, the Raiders are in first place with $119 million. 49ers, Patriots, Rams, Giants. Those are the next 4 or 5 teams that are lined up behind the silver and black. Then I believe the Cowboys come in at number 6. What's kind of cool about this is the Raiders have made the most money, but they have sold the 18th most tickets. And the reason why the Raiders are number 1 is mainly 2 reasons. First off, the limited taxes in Nevada allow you to make a lot more money, which is one of the reasons why Mark Davis wanted to go to Las Vegas. And some of you are like, what does this matter? It does actually matter, because if Mark Davis ends up having extra cash, he can then play or pay players cash instead of doing certain deals, giving them more guaranteed dollars. The other reason is because, well, the Raiders tickets are the most expensive. So here's my question. If the Raiders are number 1 in ticket sales right now at $119 million, are you going to a Raiders game this season? If yes, which game are you attending? And for those of you that are like, no, I'm not going to a game, it's okay. I'm going to be live for every preseason game. I'm going to be live for every single regular season game. It's kind of like we go live right before the game starts. I bring you the tailgate environment. We're live for 4 or 5 hours, having a good time, cheering on the team. So if you're going to a game, let me know which one you're going to. And if you're not, then hey, subscribe to the show. We're going to have fun. And even if you're at the game and you want to watch our watch party, I'm totally down. They're going to be crazy. We get over 100,000 people watching. It's a really, really good time. So let me know, y'all, which game are you going to? I'll be looking down in the comments.